All right, it is New Year's Eve, and we're thinking forward to 2016, and I wanted to take a minute to give what I call an industry pep talk. So I've seen a lot of sort of negativity about repair in general, especially cell phone repair, and I want to address that because I think that repair is alive and well, and I think that it has a really rosy future in front of us. But you have to kind of do the right things. You have to become the right shop in order to survive. So, I'm a biologist by training, and I tend to think about things in terms of biology. So, I want to read one of my favorite quotes from Charles Darwin on the concept of the struggle for existence, and this was, part of his Origin of the Species manifesto, which is a fun thing to read. But here's one of my favorite quotes. As many more individuals of each species are born than can possibly survive, and as consequently there is a frequent recurring struggle for existence, it follows that any being, if it vary, however slightly, in any manner profitable to itself, under the complex and sometimes varying conditions of life, will have a better chance of surviving and will thus be naturally selected. And I think that really applies to business, especially, in this case, cell phone repair, where we've really noticed a change in the environment. It used to be super easy, super profitable. Anybody could quickly, with no barrier to entry, grab a couple screwdrivers and start profitably swapping glass on phones. And that was a great way to make a lot of money. And now we're seeing that that's changing a little bit. And so in order to still survive and be profitable and make money, you're going to have to diversify and adapt. And it's the same thing that we've seen time and time again across business and in the living world. So what does that mean, diversify and adapt? If your business is solely built on swapping glass, or a majority of your revenue stream comes from just swapping screens on phones, you're going to need to generate some new revenue streams. You're going to need to diversify and adapt. And there's tons of ways to do that. It's not, it's not something that you have to really beat your head about. So let's talk about what can you do? What are some strategies to adapt? One thing that you can do is really see yourself not just as a screen swapper, but an ambassador of repair. And so that means really knowing your customers and what their options are. I noticed, around here, I'm active on the community Facebook pages, and I see sort of social media and what's being talked about cell phones in the community. And, every now and then somebody will ask a question about carriers or activations or plans. And most people are still unaware that there are options other than just getting a new phone from, the major carriers. And so there's a lack of awareness. It's my job to create that awareness and to really know what are the options of my customers at the big carriers and at Apple regarding repair, new contracts, new phones. I need to know all that so that I can really be an ambassador of repair. When they come in here, they can get some boutique level guidance. So you need to really understand what their options are so that you can give them guidance on what phone they should have, what type of plan would be best for them, what services work in your area, and be a guru of activations and buying and selling phones. So if you're not buying and selling phones, you need to add that. How do you get phones? The best way is to buy them back from your current customers. So a lot of times you can steer somebody into a new phone and then make an offer to buy their phone, refurbish it, and sell it to the next guy. Same for computers. If you are just doing cell phones, you need to be doing computers. It's funny, I've heard a lot of sort of lament from the sort of older established computer repair shops that are not doing phones, that the phones are really the gateway device. So people will come to you with a phone because it's in their pocket, they see your sign, they come in, and if they get really good service, then they're going to come back with their laptops and desktops. So you need to figure it out, just like anything else. Are you offering, hard drive upgrades, operating system upgrades? Can you take somebody's brand new computer that they got for Christmas and make it look like their old computer? Transfer data, virus removal, that kind of thing. You need to be doing that. And if you don't know how to do that, then hire somebody who does, or figure it out. These are what we need to be doing in order to kind of grow and adapt our business. What else can you do? You can do what your competitors are not doing. And that's sort of what Darwin is talking about. Some little advantage that you have will select for your company to survive rather than someone else. I believe that every community can support a general repair shop, that one guy that can fix everything. So you need to figure it out. You need to learn board repair or outsource board repair. So you need to be the guy that's getting the referrals from the other shops when people have board level issues. Replacing U2IC chips is a straightforward thing to do. It's a very common sort of end user problem. We're seeing a lot of iPhone 6 touch failures. That's another sort of big new repair where these iPhone 6 and 6 Pluses are just dying from a drop because the chip isn't really soldered on that well from the factory. So you need to figure out how to replace that chip, or find somebody that does and outsource to them. If you invest in the training for board repair, then you really have a lot of options open to you. So hit the streets. What else can you fix at board level in your community? In the practical board repair school, everybody goes to a private Facebook alumni group, and I love seeing the creative ideas that people have after they go back home to reach out to their community. And I'll give you some examples. One is I love that Joshua Eversole in Oregon has reached out to the HVAC guys. So these guys are replacing motherboards that cost about $500 in heating and air conditioning systems. He approached them and said, what kind of circuit board problems do you have? What are you doing? And he, noticed a fairly straightforward defect that he could fix. So he's fixing those boards for $100 a pop. Those guys had been installing new boards at $500 a pop. Totally makes sense to it. I love how Chris Collins in Texas is, he's an absolute guru at going to seek these sort of, fix odd stuff kind of repairs. He approached the city and found out that they have these, $10,000 or $15,000 municipal sewer cams that fail in a very repeatable way. So he figured out how to fix those, and you can charge a lot when you're fixing high-end devices. What else can you do? Car audio. I love how Matt York in California has reached out to the car audio community. And a lot of those guys are super active on the specialty car audio forums, and they know I need this board and I need this chip and I need just somebody to do it. So they'll come to you sort of, just with, hey, can you solve this for me? It's sort of a technical level trip transfer, that you can do. I've had people approach me that are doing design, where they're designing a circuit board for some electronics device that they'd like to invent, and they just need someone that can solder chips on a board, so do that. There's school contracts that you need to be getting. Contracts for anybody, any organization in your community that has to service a lot of mobile devices. So restaurants, schools, any business, government agencies, all of these guys have, collections of devices that break, and they need a contract that's going to offer them a really quick turnaround, fair pricing, and good service. And you can be that guy, so do that. What else can you do? One thing that I've been really excited about, I just opened, this is my first retail shop, so we're starting to do some retail, and just sort of be open when you see an opportunity, and have an idea, be creative. I saw some people coming in here with, hey, my phone doesn't charge, and it turns out to be, pretty standard problem, what I call the belly button lint in the charge port problem. And that's really not something that I want to charge people to sit here under the microscope and pick out their belly button lint. You know, it's kind of like popping a stranger's zit. It's pretty gross, and I really don't want to do it. And it's so minor that I don't really want to charge people for that service anyway. So what I did is I put a microscope out front and a table. It says, you know, DIY belly button lint station, and people love it. You know, they love being able to come in, look down the microscope, and really see their phone. I have a table out front, the juniors fixers table for kids, to just sort of, you know, play with some screws, and just have some old phones out there, and they can, you know, connect, disconnect flexes and just see what it's like inside a phone. So you can do a lot with classes in your local community. We're going to start a workshop series that is meant to sort of inspire people to fix. Everybody likes repair. It's fashionable, it's trendy. People don't like to throw away their devices. They would like to be able to fix them, and a lot of people just don't know how. So our workshop series is going to start with vacuum cleaner clean out. You know, who doesn't have a vacuum cleaner that kind of doesn't suck as much as it used to? And those are straightforward problems. So we're going to have a vacuum cleaner DIY repair night where people come in and they're going to, you know, pay us a modest fee for some tutoring, and you know, we're going to have tools out there and we're going to do it together. So we're going to open these suckers up, dissect them down, and just clean them out, and just sort of teach people and inspire people to repair and to think about repair, and to know that repair is really possible for a lot of things. Other ideas in the classes genre. You know, what parent doesn't want something to get their kids off of these consumer devices? So we're going to do a series where we're going to say, you know, what's more fun than playing Minecraft is, you know, building an app, and you know, that's sort of outside my expertise. So I'm going to go down to the local college and find a passionate, motivated, fun kid that can teach some young kids how to code an app, and set up some computers in the back, and kind of have a couple of weekends where they come in and learn that. There's a lot you can do with classes. You know, parent internet safety courses. Go down to the old folks' home and start some classes to sort of, you know, help you know, elderly people navigate, you know, how to use their devices, because they want to be plugged in. They want to know what's going on with the grandkids. They want to manage their email. They want to manage social media, and they need some help, you know. So get out there and do that. I just think that if you sit down and you think about, you know, what can I do to be different? You know, what can I do that I'm not already doing? There are tons of ideas, and I'd love to hear what you guys are doing. What are you finding successful? You may try ideas and they may fail. You know, they may not actually be profitable. But if you just keep thinking, the key to success is diversity and adaptation as the market changes. We don't know what's going to happen with screens. We don't know if, you know, the clever, industrious folks of China are going to come up with a solution that will make screen prices reasonable. We don't know what the manufacturers are going to do. You know, we really need to kind of be on our toes and prepared for anything, and that means having alternate revenue streams to support your business, so that if one thing kind of, you know, becomes less profitable than it was, that you have other things to rely on. The reality is it's rosy. It really is. You know, the fact is, you know, culturally we used to fix things. We used to, you know, buy something and take it to the repair guy and maintain it and repair it. And we've moved away from that and really become this disposable culture where we buy things cheap, they break, and we throw them away. But people don't like that. You know, I don't like doing that. You don't like doing that. It's wasteful. It's bad for the environment. You know, we don't want to do that anymore. And so the solution to that is offering people a different alternative, you know, offering them a chance to repair. The reality is, you know, we've kind of gotten into the mindset that these, you know, new modern electronics are too difficult to repair. And that's not true. There's always going to be new, expensive, high-end electronics that have circuit boards And even if the circuit board is a single big chip, there's still lots of other, mechanical ports that fail all the time. PlayStation HDMI ports or something we're starting to see a lot of. Anything that you plug in or it has a mechanical, plug unplug is going to fail and need to be replaced. Do that. That stuff is straightforward. Vintage electronics repair. People love this. Be a solution for people. Be a boutique. And really get to know your customers. Plug into your community. One of the things that I've really loved about my new retail shop is to just talk to people. It's like being a hairdresser. It's so fun. It's this sort of small town feeling where people come in and you can talk to them, do the repair in front of them. It's so fun to see someone get a chance to look inside their phone for the first time and talk to them about the right to repair, talk to them about struggles that we're having getting parts, motivate them at sort of this grassroots level to demand from the manufacturers parts, so that repair can exist and thrive. Get them to get on board with the Digital Right to Repair Act, get them to sort of, make noise and demand some support for repair from the manufacturers. And people are willing to pay for that, like I'm charging, $20, $30 more than the, what is that? I'm charging, $20 or $30 more than the option to repair at the Apple Store. We have an Apple Store that is maybe 10 minutes away, and people still come here because they want to, stop in with no appointment. They want to chat. They want to, tell me about their life. I want to hear about the grandchildren in the ski team, and I just love in this historic building that's been here for 200 years, some business or another that's been a fixture in the community, knowing the community, talking to people, helping people. Everybody leaves here with a smile. Their problems are getting fixed. They're learning a little something, and they're inspired to come back for one of our courses. It's just been so much fun, and I think that every town can support a shop like that. And if you're not doing that, if you're kind of, not sure, when to quit, should I quit, should I give up on screens, there is a time to quit, and it's hard to know when that is. It makes me think about my sons and sports. We're not a super sporty family, but they have some athletic ability. And both my sons have gotten frustrated on a team and wanted to quit. My older son wanted to quit baseball. He was striking out, and there was a time where it was like the ninth inning, and the bases were loaded, and the score was tied, and he struck out, and that was incredibly difficult for him to go through, and he really wanted to quit. And I sat down and I said, you can quit, I will allow you to quit, but I don't want you to quit until after you have really given it your best. And that means going out and practicing, getting in front of the pitching machine, really working on it for a while. And I'd like to see you quit after you get a legitimate base hit. And so we worked on it for a while, and a few weeks later, he was up to bat, and he got a legitimate line drive base hit, and he got on base. Wasn't, it's not telling him he needs to get a home run, but just get on base. And he did it, and that sort of, working really hard and accomplishing a goal, and sort of, crossing off something on the bucket list there, then I would have allowed him to quit, but of course he didn't want to quit after that. That experience of sort of, really exhausting all your options. Have you tried to do classes? Have you tried to, hit up your local recycler and see what they have that you could refurbish and sell? Have you really tried to explore all sorts of creative options that are there to build your business? Refurbishing, a lot of people are like, who wants these old devices? The third world loves them. We should not be throwing this stuff away. There is a market for even older devices that you can get in large quantity. Take them all apart, fix them. there is a market for refurbishing, and do that. There's some great success stories out there of people that have added refurbishing to their business model. So my point is that I think that every town can support one really great repair shop, and it's your job to really sit down and think, how can I be that one repair shop? What can you do that your competitors either can't do or not willing to do? What new creative ideas for marketing, advertising, board repair, refurbishing, buybacks, activations, accessories, what can you do to add to your business that you're not currently doing? And I bet that you can be really successful at this. So this is my industry pep talk. I see it as a really exciting time. Repair is trendy. People want to repair. Be that resource for them, and you'll do well.